Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. It's probably appropriate for me to warn you all that it is extremely hot where I am right now, well, particularly in my apartment. I think it's just reasonably warm outside, it's just my apartment really heats up during the day. So, yeah, I may actually melt into a pile of human sludge, so just hopefully I'll be able to survive the 2 hours, but if I don't, then at least you have been warned. I think we're going to Gathering Hub 20. I don't know if we've actually got anyone ready to go and hunt. If we do, then that's excellent. I don't actually want to use... Oh, damn it. I had a feeling that he would use Hammer. So APEC is joining us right at the start. I did intend to change weapons. I'm not going to be using a fire longsword for the quest that we're starting out with. The quest, as I recall, is Terra Shogun Senator. As I recall, and then I can't even remember the second monster. It's Terra Shogun, Lavazioth, Rathlos, and possibly a fourth monster. But it's at least 3. And I was considering using the hammer, but I don't particularly need to. I might bring... Well, okay, how about I bring the final battle axe? I don't often use that. I will actually have raw resistance just for the Rathlos. I just want to use something that's not elemental for this fight, because the elemental weaknesses are a bit different for the Rathlos versus the other monsters, as I recall. So, I mean, water is still technically okay. I just would prefer to be well within the range of a secondary weakness, ideally a primary weakness, for all monsters when I choose to use element. Final battle axe. And I did just eat before, so that should be good enough for my hunter. If he needs 2 meals before a hunt, he'll be getting wheeled out on a gurney to the locale to do his hunting. Okay. This is a time that I don't normally go live, by the way, so I don't know if anyone's actually going to be joining me live among my typical audience, but anyway, the VOD is always there for them to watch, quite frankly. Now, is it an event quest, or is it just... It doesn't appear to be. It is G3, according to the random hunt selector. The 3 Masters of the Volcano. Glad to have APEC on board. I wasn't actually going to do this game again. Of course, the last one that I did, the last game that I recorded in this series, was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. And just for the sake of variety, I do try to not have back-to-back recordings of the same game unless it's something that I am recording as a priority. Let's say, for example, I'm doing For Ultimate, and I haven't recorded For Ultimate at all over the last 2 years, and then I do 2 back-to-back recordings of For Ultimate. That obviously makes sense. Also, I do technically have 3 Ultimate as a priority at the moment because the servers will be shutting down next year. So if I did 2 back-to-back recordings of that, it would also be deemed acceptable by myself. So, yeah, those are the exceptions, really. But for a game like Freedom Unite, I do try to have other games in between. See, I didn't think you were there. I knew that you were nearby, Mr. Senator, but did not anticipate your position to be quite so poor for me. Stop it! For goodness sake. Yes, I know, you're being extremely annoying. Unfortunately for him, he has to really slow down and actually come to a stop before he can swing his arm. What are we starting with? We've got Lavazioth, Terra Shogun, and Rathlos. Okay. I've been going in the wrong direction. I thought perhaps we'd be starting with Terra Shogun. But that's fine. Just a bit of a slow journey. I had to waste a Farcaster for that, but I do have plenty. What a pointless comment to make. I can just buy as many as I want from the granny. Yeah, again, the camera doesn't always show it, but I am, like, sweating right now. It is hot. It's very uncomfortable. raising the volume of my speakers there. So this Lavazioth shouldn't take too long to die. I don't know what his resistances are like to poison. Hopefully not too high. Oh, for goodness sake. The fact that you can still hit me there is ridiculous. I had responded accordingly to the changing circumstances as they presented themselves, and yet I still got hit by your massive flopping fish hitbox. That is a little bit more reasonable. I do appreciate the assistance with the life powder. For once, I actually haven't been playing too much Monster Hunter in my own time, between the recording of the last video and this one. I've just been busy with other things, really. I've been very busy lately. So I'm going to treat this as a bit of a warm-up hunt. Having said that though, I play Monster Hunter frequently enough that I really would have no proper excuse for being rusty at this point. What, a week without playing it when I usually play it most days, every other time. Doesn't quite, it rings hollow, doesn't it? Sadly, the hip check there does extend very much to the tail as well. I'm trying to recall if Plesioth is the same. I believe so. While Lavazioth's tail is considerably thicker in comparison to the tail of a Plesioth, I seem to recall the tail of Plesioth also being a factor when it comes to hip checks. The problem is that the hip check hitbox of a Plesioth is so inaccurate and gigantic on its own that it's actually hard to tell where you're getting hit. Is it the tail or the huge hip part? I really do need to sharpen soon. Hello there, P-Berry. And that's a dead, flopping fish. When you have fought enough Lavazioth, you can actually differentiate between the I'm flopping as an attack flop, the I've tripped flop, and the I'm dead flop. Obviously, the take-home there is that this monster likes to flop around. It's mainly that it was a single flop that cancelled the previous flop. That's how I knew that it was the Death Flop. That is its official name. It is Death Flop. As for Terra Shogun Senator, because he needs to spawn, it will be in this area. If he has already spawned, and you're embarking on a quest to kill a Senator, usually you won't find them here. But, yeah, for a spawning one, it's pretty much always here as far as I'm aware. I don't have any pickaxes on me, so I'm just going to have to leave those carving zones. Good day. And goodbye. He's not actually leaving, he's just being a nuisance. I don't really want to get stuck in one place with Demon Dance. It's a bad habit for a Dual Blades user to use Demon Dance when it appears. Oh, for goodness sake, just get out of my face. I'm healing. Don't interrupt. It's a bad habit for people who use Dual Blades to just default to doing the Demon Dance attack. In my opinion, it really should only be reserved for scenarios in which the monster is completely, well, I say completely stationary, but I guess just knocked down, as opposed to just maybe directing attacks to a different teammate. Now, can I just take a moment to express complete disdain for this fucking ear prey? In fact, I will take the time to kill it, which you don't often see me do, actually taking the time to kill a small monster during a hunt. It's really only during first generation hunts where I would take the time, but this has been a very disruptive ear prey, and he simply refuses to die. Extremely annoying, really. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to render assistance, freak. I didn't even have a life powder to use, and if I had been in possession of a life powder, I wouldn't have been able to use it in time. So, I apologize. See, that really wasn't an effective use of the Demon Dance, because not all the attacks got out there, or not all of them actually made contact, and as well as that, I missed the final hit, which as far as I'm aware is the most damaging of all those individual hits, so it's a bad use of Demon Dance when you aren't guaranteed to get all those hits off. You should instead be going for different attacks, such as these ones. I only did this because I wanted to get out a full combo, given that I was out of stamina. Dual blades have never been something that I've been enamored with. They've been a subject of fascination since Portable Third with the changes made to the weapon type. And then all of the small evolutions with each iteration of Monster Hunter, but it's not a comfortable weapon type for me. It's one of those, I suppose it's a bit paradoxical. It appears as if it's a fast-moving weapon, but then when you actually use it, I suppose that's what it is. If you were to watch someone use the weapon type without having actually experienced what it's like to hunt with it, you would think that it was actually a high mobility weapon type. But when you use it, it feels very slow and cumbersome. That is to say, you know, second, third, and fourth gen dual blades, as well as first gen. First gen dual blades are terrible, to be honest. And there we go. Good night. One more hunt to go, and that is Rathalos. Presumably, he is going to spawn in the Lavazioth area. This is really one of the only quests where I would be fighting a Rathalos in the volcano that has to spawn later on in the hunt. This is the only one that I can think of. There might be perhaps one or two other quests, but this is the only one that comes to mind. So yeah, I don't often find myself standing in Area 10 of the volcano waiting for a Rathalos to fly down. Yeah, the dual blades really got a facelift with Portable Third, and by extension 3 Ultimate. I suppose we'll just say 3rd gen dual blades. Says the same thing, but in a more pithy fashion. Because, oh, for fuck's sake. Did I attack him too soon, or is he actually doing around the world? He's doing around the world. Very well. I will admire the scenery in the meantime, whilst also watching to see what he's doing. Oh, see, this is what I call the time wasting around the world. Now, technically, around the world is a time wasting maneuver of Rathaloses, but when there isn't even an attack associated with it, its only function is to waste your time. Like, seriously. It's really bad. It's as if Rathalos loses his will to harm you during the time that he's flying around up there. I guess he forgets. It's kind of like how you go to sleep angry about something and then you wake up and you don't care anymore. That's Rathalos. He's up in the sky flying around for so long that he actually loses interest in what got him up there in the first place. Fucking asshole monster. One of the things that really can't be underestimated in this game is an enraged Rathalos and the damage that he can deal by running at you. It's very high. It's one of the things that you notice when you're going through a first or second generation Monster Hunter game and you're just scraping by with your defense. It's a challenge, but you're scraping by and it's okay. I find that the first time you are getting well and truly one-shot is when you're fighting a Rathalos, and he's enraged and he runs at you. Do as I say, not as I do, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't have gotten hit there if I had taken my own advice, and not done a fucking demon dance when I really should instead be doing other things. Because that's when your mobility is at its lowest. It's when you're electing to use demon dance instead of other attacks that you can get out of more quickly. I would really rather be in a different spot to where I was there. That tail can fuck off. Of course, I'm, for the most part, vacating the head for APEC. I don't have a desperate need to hit the head. Not when he's, I would say, magnetized to it. That is perfectly reasonable for a hammer user. You going to attack this time? At all? No. Probably not. Is there a lore-related explanation for why he does that? Just decides to take to the sky and just fly around. Just fly around. Maybe it's some sort of existential realization where he knows that he's about to die, and then he says to himself, "In this life I was born with wings. I have the freedom to fly the skies. Let me enjoy that while I still draw breath." There's my fucking headcanon for why he does that. Oh yeah, in For Ultimate where he shoots those fireballs during Around the World, that's actually scary. Because it necessitates watching to see where he is while he's flying. I mean, you sort of have to do that when you're anticipating a downward strike, but you really have to keep an eye on him at that point. Apex seems to think he's gone in that direction. I don't know where he sleeps, so presumably where he sleeps is where he can be found at this point. He was limping, so I don't know if does he sleep at the top of the volcano or further in? I know that in the original volcano map he is towards the top but not literally in the hot area, so yeah, this is probably this would be too hot for Rathalos to sleep. He could probably tolerate it, but I don't think he would comfortably be able to fall asleep in that heat, so it makes sense to me that he would sleep elsewhere. Where art thou, O crimson dragon, that I despise, repugnant creature of the skies? No, seriously, where the fuck are you? At this stage, the only explanation... Oh, he would have gone into the non-volcanic area, that's what it was. That's precisely what he's done. No, I think, Peaberry, you're getting confused by... You're getting confused with the map design of Old Volcano. He shouldn't be on the far left or anything like that. What the fuck is going on? Where did he go? He was there, then he wasn't there, and apparently he's there again, because that's actually where we were just before. Did he finally make it up to that area? He must have. What's he doing? What's he playing at? Just wasting our time. Because as you'll recall, we chased him here, but he didn't stop here. And then we went looking for him, and then we found him here again. Stupid creature. I do need mega potions after all that. APEC is disconnected. Hopefully that's not something that's going to continue. He may have done it to speed up to the end. If you were ever playing with people who always disconnect at the end of hunts, it's probably because they are either save stating for rewards, which you will come across, or they are speeding up to the end, or both. So, you do encounter it sometimes. I don't feel the need. Sort of destroys the immersion of an online hunt if I do things like that. You can see from the final shot that I was definitely helping out there. Being of extreme help, actually. It wasn't for lack of trying. Looks like we've got a group of 4, assuming that APEC is still hanging around. In case you wanted to know, I don't really carry life powders in this game. Which in some communities and in some games relating to said communities is, quite frankly, intolerable. But, too bad. Random hunt. Let's see what we've got. The final invitation to Rajang. That's the easy double Rajang quest, so I'm not going to complain too much. I don't particularly feel like fighting Rajang, but if I don't feel like fighting Rajang, then that's too bad, because I'm choosing to do the random quest thing, so that is the situation. I might use heavy normal shots, just for something a little different. I think I used heavy normal shots when I was last playing Freedom Unite, in the previous part of this series, but I don't remember what I was going up against. I do remember that it was in the Snowy Mountains, so it might have been Tigrex, or it might have been, in fact, Rajang. I genuinely don't know. I'll go to the farm, get some honey. I do not have a spot at this stage. Nagaku-ka. All slots are taken, unless someone falls through, which is possible. Or if someone decides to post something that is obviously not in keeping with what has been selected by the bot, and they, for some reason, want to belligerently assert the fact that we're going to do their quest and not the random hunt. Under those circumstances, and in the face of that sort of intransigence, I will remove that person from the room. But fortunately, it doesn't happen very often. It must be in G3. Final invitation, where are you? There it is. So the reason why I say that this is the easy double Rajang quest, and those of you who saw the Freedom Unite recording recently where I demonstrated the hard version, just to explain it, this one is one at a time. As soon as you kill the first one, the second one will spawn, but they will never be in the area at the same time in this particular quest. there is a different quest called Twin Terrors, which is suitably terrifying. And yeah, it's both of them at the same time. I tend to cheese it. There are ways to only engage one of them at a time, which is the case in pretty much all Monster Hunter games. So, you know, in an arena hunt. I am not going to be kicking anyone for you, Nagakuka. Not quite that desperate to play with you. I'm not going to prevent you from being in the room, but I'm not going to kick for your benefit. Just water today for me, by the way. It is not a big glass of gin. Or white rum, or white tequila, or some other clear substance. Well, this is a special moment where I actually can't really participate in the hunt. I was so distracted by whatever I was saying before getting into this quest that I didn't bring any ammunition, so I do actually, okay, fortunately, and this is a good thing, I do have a stack of normal level 2 in the box, which is excellent because this is a normal set, so I do have normal up. And, yeah. Effectively, I just don't have combinations, but depending on how quickly this goes, I may not even need more than 99 normal level 2, so that was very lucky. Very, very lucky. And yes, P-Berry, there's usually like, I want to say 3 or 4 streams every year where I don't drink. This is going to be one of them. Nothing wrong with that. I had a feeling I would be out of range for that. Just as well. Shouldn't be shooting out of critical distance like that. I'm not really fixing to break the horns. I'm not in need of them, but I do want to aim for the weak point. Aiming for a weak point is never unimportant in Monster Hunter, but it becomes increasingly important when you're using a loadout like this. Do we feel like getting him in a trap? Looks like we'll be able to use this one on numero due, I don't know. Just to really go all out with my Italian accent. Unmistakably authentic. Uncannily so. Yes, well, fortunately we haven't had anyone flash any Rajangs just yet. Maybe word finally fucking got around, and people have stopped doing that now. It should be a bannable offense to flash bomb a Rajang, knowingly or unknowingly, in an online hunt. Ow. Well, at least he's in the trap, but I have to reload and heal. Can't even take advantage of the trap. I suppose I could technically, but I don't see much reason for me to put myself in harm's way. Or, I suppose to not put myself in harm's way, but to run the risk of being at low health only to shoot the monster in the anus. And what I really want to do is to shoot him in the face. But yeah, those are 99 normal level 2 shots. Shots. Couldn't get that word out for some reason. in the box essentially saved my hunt. To depart on a quest without any ammunition with a bowgun is a faux pas to say the least. Don't quite want that, I want your face. Ugh. Feels so slow when you're used to 4th generation aiming sensitivity. It necessitates the oh, for fuck's sake. One shot. Miserable. Okay, what I was saying, or what I was about to say, was that when you've actually got a lower aiming sensitivity, it necessitates the accurate positioning of your character in relation to the monster when scoping in. Then you can make small adjustments and then you're fine. But if I were to, for example, I don't even want to use an ancient potion, which is a dangerous enterprise, to actually choose to not use an ancient potion. Oh, are they flashbombing APEC? I think this is the first time, isn't it? I didn't actually see anyone flashbomb prior to this point. If it... well, I don't know. Doesn't even matter if it doesn't happen again. If it happens even once, that is cause to very quickly reprimand the person. I will attempt to inform them over Constables. Just so that you're all up to speed on what I said, do not flash Rajang, it just ruins the hunt, there is no benefit to it at all. That really is the beginning and the end of it. That was rather convenient, actually, with my evade distance up there. Well, I didn't even need my 99 normal shots. I did expect that, but I didn't necessarily expect to find the ammunition that I needed in the box. But then I realized, well, given that I have departed with a normal set, normal shots are usually a typical thing that you will find in the box. I was especially pleased that it was a full stack and not 60 or 30 shots. Kicking is a thing because I actually donated to have that implemented as a feature on Unsterverse. Back in 2018 it was. Or very early, no, it was 2018, it was something like October 2018. And it was something that I absolutely needed to have implemented because of the community in Freedom Unite specifically, just people who would turn up in your room and would post a quest even though you already had one on the board, and then someone else would join, and then they would depart on a quest of their own in your room while you've got a quest. It was extraordinary, and as unlikely as it sounds that that scenario was common, please believe me when I say that it happened every single time I went online. Like, that exact situation would happen. And that's how it was in this community. It was really bad. And so I needed a way to be able to get rid of these fucking parasites from my rooms. Because, yeah, you could say that on principle you could just leave the room and make a new one, but why? Why would I do that? Because then it just legitimizes or in fact encourages that sort of behavior. Anyway. So, in the chat here, Busy Chicken, this guy changes his name all the time. Can't even remember what it originally was now. He says, sounds like they get taught that Flash works against any monster. Now, how that happens is pretty much through the playing of the game naturally. Just the way the game is designed makes you think that. So it starts off this way. You throw a flash bomb for the first time and you realize, oh wow, that's really effective. That's pretty much kept this monster in one place, unless they happen to throw it on a monster that it really doesn't help to throw one with. So for example, Teostra, Rajang, Nagakuga. But in the case of something like a Rathalos or a Tigrex, a monster like that, for the most part, is stationary when under the effects of a flash bomb. So if they start relying too heavily on flash bombs, which happens if they're struggling in the game, if they've found the game to be quite difficult and then they use the flash bomb as a way to have a more simplified and accessible experience, pretty typical for a new person, they are going to find themselves it's not guaranteed to happen, but it's likely that they will become so reliant on the flash bomb and its effect that they will actually throw it at a monster where it makes the fight harder, but they've actually taught themselves, based on prior experience, that, well, flashing makes it easier. So they're not even capable of observing what's going on in the hunt. They can't unlearn that. For a specific hunt like Rajang, they just go, oh, well, it must make the hunt easy. And that was the conclusion that I came to when I would see the same people do it repeatedly. Because if you do it repeatedly, it means you're not observing what's happening in the hunt. Otherwise, you wouldn't be fucking doing it repeatedly. You would do it once, observe that the hunt actually becomes harder, not easier, and then you wouldn't fucking do it again. But guaranteed, these people who throw flash bombs at these monsters where it makes it harder, they will do it not just multiple times in one hunt, they will do it every time they hunt that monster, and they will never learn unless you tell them categorically and unequivocally that what they're doing is actually making it harder, and if they continue, they're not going to fucking play with me. That's the conversation that needs to be had sometimes with these people. But yeah, it's a learned behavior because of the way the game's designed. So many of the monsters are just so, I guess, stationary. They don't do anything when flashed. Anyway. So, what am I doing with myself? The monster is, well, the monsters are Plum Daimyo, Hermitor, Rathian, and Gypsaros. And there isn't really a common weakness that I would want to use for something elemental, so I guess I could go... Yes. I've just made a decision. I'm going to use a hunting horn. That is assuming we have a group of 4 still, which I suppose we always will have. We'll just be interchanging people, because I think Florin may want to play. I know that Nagku-Ka wants to play, so yeah. There should always be an opportunity for a group of 4. So the quest is called Operation Tropical Storm. I believe it's a G2 hunt. There we go. So I believe the songs that I play with this hunting horn are Stamina Loss Negated and Attack Up. Is that right? My instincts tell me that that's unusual. Typically those two do not exist together. It's usually either attack up or no stamina loss. But I don't know, that's what my memories are telling me. I'm probably just wrong. I'll double check. Yes, I do wonder who that might be. Person in the chat who is literally named Nagaku-Ka. For goodness sake. Okay. Monster Hunter Freed me now. hunting horn guide, I guess, whatever it is. The page on GameFAQs that literally lists every fucking hunting horn and then tells you what songs that it plays. It's a lovely little thing. Ancient Dragonwood Flute. Okay, I was correct. Infinite stamina large and attack up large on the same horn. That's enough to make me weak in the knees. What a lovely hunting horn this is. Because I'm pretty sure that after second generation, you wouldn't be able to get a horn that had both of those. Those abilities were mutually exclusive. Let's get rid of these normal shots. I do not need them in my inventory. How old is the horn? Is that what you mean? Ancient Dragonwood Flute? I don't know how old it is. I'm insufficiently informed when it comes to the lore of the game to be able to give you a decent answer. Although I could always theorize. Alright, what colors are we dealing with here? It is purple, red, red, and purple, blue, blue. If I find that difficult to remember, then you're going to have to check me into some sort of institution. Because that's about as simple as it gets. Oh, the GameFAQs page? It's probably from 2008. Let's find out. Nope, it's 2009, so around the time the game came out in English. Give me a sec. But yeah, when these games were coming out on PSP, GameFAQs at the time was the most accessible and comprehensive reference on the internet for the games, in English, I have to say. I have to stress that point. The online references were always very good for the Japanese games, as far as, you know, written Japanese guides from the art books and the guidebooks and whatever else. But yeah, it was the case then that GameFAQs was good, and they remain very good as references. Fuck off. The Plum Daimyo Hermitor special, where he fucking comes after you while flying. I will obviously do the extension song for Attack Up, but I would like to have everyone reap the benefits of Stamina Up first and foremost. But yeah, I didn't actually start using the... Well, I believe that I didn't start using the... What's it? It wasn't called Fandom back then. I don't recall it being called Fandom, it was just the Monster Hunter Wiki. And then I think Fandom got added to the URL later for all of the wikis that used Fandom. So it became fandom.wiki. That's my memory of it. I could be wrong. I think it just used to be Monster Hunter Wiki. But, although having said that, that doesn't sound quite right, because then that would mean you would need to have that domain name. monsterhunterwiki.com. But, yeah, maybe it did always have Fandom. But the point is that that wiki, despite being pretty good for Try, which was what I used it for when Try came out, it's been notoriously poor for first generation Monster Hunter, and I think also second generation. Just actual misinformation being put on that site. So I would not recommend using that. There are much better references around. And not so much on the internet anymore, you have to sort of find them reposted online through, you know, other websites now. Yeah, I can't even remember what the fuck we're hunting. I think this owl guy is hanging around me because he must think that I know where I'm going. I was too busy talking about whatever I was talking about and not actually being able to take the time to consider what the next monster was because I was talking about something. So I just awkwardly walked around in a fucking circle doing nothing. Looks like the head's already broken. Fucking stop. I don't anticipate that I'm actually going to get a paralysis off on any of these monsters, honestly. Hopefully I'm out of range. I suppose we'll find out. Can't actually see if he's alive or not, because his head's broken. Alright, he is alive. And now I think he's dead. Well, Apex seems fairly convinced that he's dead. Yeah, looks like he is. And then the last monster should be Rathian. The eyes glow when alive. I see. I always look for the flashing of the... I don't even know what you call it. I guess the large and unfortunate growth on his head. I will ensure that we all have attack boost bonus. Sorry, attack more powerful. I will make sure that we all have attack more powerful. And now I will get us stamina loss extended, or I can't remember. No stamina, probably, is what it would be called. I'm playing the wrong notes. Come on. No, not that. I'm definitely not the most adept when it comes to hunting horn. At least not today. Certainly not today. Let's see if I can actually do an extension song for that, because I don't remember. Well, that was a bit of a shame to get a KO and then just ruin it with a trap. Okay, it does have an extension. I feel like I'm talking about a telephone line when I say extension. Let's get some movement speed up. I'm not going to need ESP, but I might want movement speed up. I'm contributing all of a sudden. Well, at least directly. Oh, no, I'm so sorry if I hit you there. Looks like Rathian hit you there anyway. Oh no, I must have hit you, or someone else did. I can see you haven't lost health. I will not hit the head. Oh, that looks like it was my paralysis finally. I'm helping. Yes, I didn't actually make it clear for those who are unfamiliar with this hunting horn, but it does have paralysis element. Or, yeah, element. Paralysis status. Hey, Himari. I haven't been enjoying the fact that people want to talk about Monster Hunter now, but given that I haven't been playing Monster Hunter now, I can't imagine that I could say that I've been enjoying Monster Hunter now. Well, did APEC actually leave? Yeah. There is a whole lot of trapping going on. It is excessive to be so reliant on traps. It's not necessary. When there are 4 of us ganging up on one monster that's got reduced health, we don't need 3 to 4 traps per hunt. It's ridiculous. So it's starting to frustrate APEC, it seems. some pretty generous rewards, which you would essentially hope to get when you've actually killed 3 monsters, but it's not always like that in Monster Hunter. At least not in old Monster Hunter. No, he left in the same way last hunt, Tifa, but yeah. He seems to be routinely disconnecting at the end of hunts, probably because he's speeding up to the end or something. What's our next hunt? I would like Apex to continue on. We can always request them not to just spam traps for the entire damn hunt. It's a waste of resources more than anything else. Actually, what was the monster? Nagakuga! My Ghost Sword and Shield. Just for a bit of fun. That is not the weapon that I want. That is the weapon that I want. With the greatest respect, if you want me to say Nagakuga, you might want it to actually change from a Q to a G, because a Q never produces the sound G. I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen. I've not come across a word in the English language that does that. There is no convention within English, neither in terms of actual English words nor English loan words, where the letter Q can perform the function of the letter G. So I would recommend that you put up or shut up when it comes to the name Nagakuga and the pronunciation thereof. Alright. Is Apex still hunting? That is the question. We will find out soon. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually go into the online hall. Alright. Here we go. This is Nagakuga, by the way, in the chat. He names himself after monsters from Monster Hunter. It's quite clever. If Apex doesn't respond, then, yeah, Kushala can come in, to be honest. Because I don't know, I'm not going to prostrate myself and beg him on bended legs to come back. It's like, you know, I've got a stream here. Yeah, Olive TTV. If I do a handstand, the Q looks like a B, in fact. It's amazing, isn't it? It's all about perspective, isn't it? Alright. It is just Nagakuga, so we will post it. I don't really want to do 2. 1 is satisfactory. But yes, Nagakuga, you are welcome to actually take Apex place, because he left, he said that it was very annoying, and then went AWOL. Well, not AWOL. He does not require leave of absence. But, or certainly not my leave anyway. a pretty good replacement, actually. He's gone and brought the Garuga Hammer, which is the weapon Apec was using, incidentally. Yeah, doesn't he? I think he's very cool because he's not named after a monster from the game that he's playing. Definitely an upstanding kind of guy. I don't mean to criticize every person who names themselves after a monster, but it's a bit on the nose to, in both, you know, in both meanings of the phrase on the nose. The other one being, it stinks, to name yourself after a monster when you're a Monster Hunter player. Not that my screen name is amazing or anything, it's just, I don't know. It's a bit hard to formulate an identity around a monster name in Monster Hunter when there are many, many people who would probably also be going by that very same monster name. So that's really my only concern. Oh, the fucking tribulation of getting this monster into a trap. Or any monster, really, with a group. I probably shouldn't be going for the head here. We do have a hammer user. It's discourteous to just flagrantly flail our limbs around on the head of a monster when there's a hammer user. Someone tooting the horn. It's a very cute horn. If that is anything other than a large truck, then that's ridiculous. Or a lorry. If it's not a lorry, I don't know. As much as I like English words, I've never understood lorry. That one has always put me off. It makes me think of a lorikeet, which is a native Australian parrot. Makes me think of, no, I'm not going to cast aspersions on truckers. I'm not going to do that at all, but yeah, it makes me think of a trucker driving a large bird, or riding a large bird, in fact. You need to get away from me. I have dealt with enough shit from Earprey in this recording. Enough to actually last several recordings. Look out! Riario took that in the face. I just love the mobility of Sword and Shield. I think the more mobile the monster is, or the faster the monster is, the more satisfying it is to actually keep up with them when you have Sword and Shield mobility. It's very pleasant. There's just far too much shrubbery in this fucking location. I feel like I'm constantly having to reposition my camera so that I can see what in the precise fuck I'm aiming for on this moving creature. Obviously it's not as bad as the thick trees in the first generation jungle, but it doesn't make this any better. Having said that though, I do like the Great Forest. I'm not going to pretend like I hate the Great Forest, but it is frustrating when you've got so much getting between you and the monster, visually speaking. As Ethan's brother would put it, it's very busy. It's very busy. Well, I would agree that there's nothing wrong with shrubbery, it's just a little bit frustrating when you're trying to look at the monster and you've got a fucking tree in your face. I didn't ask to have a tree in my face. I certainly wouldn't have put that on a list of feature requests for Capcom. I'd like to be looking at trees instead of the monster while I'm hunting it. Not in addition to, but instead of the monster. The ever-present shadow, except for when it's dead. Then it's not present any longer. So not ever-present. We just said that because it looks nice on a quest name. Alrighty, let's see what the next hunt is. I will actually show you this time. I don't really require your coordination, Nagakuka. No invite. I'm always... Look, if Mailing wants to play, I'm happy to have him on board. What's his avatar today? Trying to see. Oh. He's had some good Toho artists featuring on his avatars. That one's a bit more average. Not poorly drawn, just a bit more average compared to some of the ones he's had. He's had some of my favourite Toho artists. But anyway, I might ask him if he wants to play. Oh, sorry, I'm on cooldown. Excuse me for killing a single Nagakuga in less than 5 minutes. I mean, it's fucking unheard of, right? Just an absurd notion that I might actually be able to kill a Nagakuga with 4 people in less than 5 minutes. I have reason to suspect that that was a 10-minute cooldown for that quest, which is unreasonable. This command, I'm sorry, is bordering upon being unfit for purpose. It's just atrocious at this point. Alright. I can do top and bottom. Very good. Alright, so 2 Terra Shogun Sionatol, because 1 just isn't enough. We've already done 1 so far, but that's fine. 2 Walls Dark Wings. I'm trying to remember what that actually gives. Because it is an event quest, it will give an actual specific drop. But I don't remember what it is. Alright. I will bring Thunder, because I do believe that the subspecies is also weak to Thunder. Nagakuka, it has to be said that if you were actually watching my livestream, you would have realized quite some time ago that I use FU Complete, which, as the name would suggest, is actually carrying the complete suite of DLC quests, so I do not require your assistance in posting the quest at this time. What should I use? Because you know what? No, I will not. I will wait, because, okay, let me explain myself. I saw Roaring Wyvern G, and became mildly excited. No, not that. That's funny, that was a case of mistaken identity. I saw Roaring Wyvern G and thought I was looking at Dragoon's Gay Bulge. Yes, that is the correct pronunciation, and if you disagree, then you're entitled to be incorrect. That is everyone's right. It's Dragoon's Gay Bulge. Yeah, so I will use that, but not now, because I want to save it for when I am obliged to use something non-elemental, so, which is not the case this time around. How about we go Gunlance, Thunder Gunlance. I do not often whip it out, but it's called the High Volt Gunlance. It doesn't actually exist in Monster Hunter Freedom 2, which is totally unacceptable. Like, there is a range or a threshold of what would be considered acceptable, and I can tell you that the absence of a Thunder Gunlance in Freedom 2, not just this Gunlance, but any Thunder Gunlance, is going way over the line. Completely over the line. There's no actual debate to be had about it. It's fucking not okay, and it made me angry when I realized it. Anyway, where is the quest? I'm sure that I went past it. Let's try again. There we go. So what's the name of the quest? It says 2 walls, dark wings. I don't really understand it. Maybe they're referring to the Gravios, because they wear Gravios skulls on their backs, so that might be what it is. Suspicious Manager, come one, come all, to the Ultimate Arena. I've got 2 of the hardest, strongest, and most terrifying monsters around, which is actually not true. Step on up. Prove you've got the right stuff. Okay. Yeah, I've got the stuff all right. I don't think it's 2 at the same time, but do you know what? No, it probably is, because I know that the Plum Daimyo and Terra Shogun DLC quest is both at the same time, so I would presume that this is also a simultaneous confrontation. Alrighty. That's... yes, very good of you. Why are you using a water weapon? I believed that I was correct in that the primary weakness is thunder. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. I'm quite sure that I'm not, but anyway. See if I can get a Wyvern Fire out that can hit both of them. That would be pretty cool. For the moment, though, I need to look after my health. Oh. Come hither. So about that double Wyvern Fire. There we are. Best case scenario. I don't think this one's going to last very long at all. I can see that the shell has already been broken. Gunlance is not a good choice of weapon when you're fighting 2 monsters simultaneously, because 2 monsters simultaneously really calls for some level of mobility, and if you're using Gunlance, you have a pretty minimal amount of that. Oh, that's dangerous. I said that's dangerous to say that it was risky, but now that I've actually been hit, it's more than dangerous. It fucking hurts. Alright. I did actually see the killing blow there. It was a King Atalat Sword level 3 Greatsword charge on the penis of the weak point. The thing that he uses to pee out of, that's very, very tender and very vulnerable, I don't know. It hurts when you hit it, basically. Sensitive is the word, yeah. Oh, water is best for the shell, I see. I actually don't know what the water elemental weakness on the shell is. Is it like quite a good elemental weakness, but just not a good physical one? That's probably what it is. Unless the objective is actually to gain access to the weak point. Which would make sense. Come on out. You are actually delaying the inevitable. I can understand why you would be scared to come out, but... Well, actually, I suppose if the monster really wanted to, he could just stay down there and then wait until our time runs out. Wouldn't that be annoying if it were technically possible that when a monster nears death, like in its AI, in the decisions that it could possibly make, what if it were technically possible that it would just be so frightened that it would burrow under the ground and stay there until you ran out of time in the quest? That would be horrendous. That would be an alpha team Monster Hunter designer's wet dream. They would actually, like, they would be unable to fall asleep at night. That is how stimulating that thought would be to an alpha team Monster Hunter player. I'd guarantee it would have actually been floated as a possibility at some point, at some forsaken board meeting with alpha team. They're just sitting around. I don't know what they would even look like. Probably like rat people, just like this. What shall we do for our next game? I guarantee someone came up with that idea, and I bet they would have been close to implementing it too. They would have loved that. I can just imagine a situation where they're in a dark boardroom and then there's just, the only light is one CRT television. It's 2005 and they're playing, they've got like a person there playing a demo of, you know, Monster Hunter G. And they're just waiting for the moment when that AI triggers. And it's, I don't know, what burrows in that game? The Cephadrome. Well, actually, that is something that happens in that game where the Cephadrome burrows and never comes out. Anyway, something that couldn't be sonic bombed down to the ground. Let's imagine an enraged Diablos that refuses to come out of the ground, and it happens, and it took forever, and then every person sitting at that table just leans back and starts to jerk off. And then you just hear, you know, Japanese grunting noises while this gamer sits there in distress, unable to actually access the monster that he wants to fight. That is exactly what would play out. That's the best image that I can give you of how I visualize Alpha Team. Yeah, Capcom fanfiction. Alrighty. Oh, RH. I will do RH. So, Basarios. How about multiple Basarios? That sounds a little more fun than a single Basarios. When it comes to Nagakuga, I really don't need to experience more than one, but Basarios? I actually enjoy fighting him a little bit, so I wouldn't mind doing 2 at a time. And as I recall correctly, Nagakuka. Oh wait, is that what it says? I'm telling you, Yells is just... he's out of control. He's writing quest names that are just wrong. He's making things plural that are actually singular, like, silly boy. Having said that though, he was one of the few who wanted to do the work, so I won't criticize too much. So there are several Basarios seasons that we're going to be experiencing in this quest. If we are to believe what's been written, I will use something ranged. Yeah, let's use a bow. Pierce water bow? So eraser. Which is a fun little bow. Where are you? Eraser. It's a water weapon, so I'm going to wash away the ink. It's an eraser. I don't know. It was a pretty impressive joke, you have to admit. Impressively bad. So we want short charge tools. There we go. The room is full. Hold on, I just need to take a screenshot for... Just an important moment. Alright, apparently someone's cleared out. That's all good. We made it. Oh, these guys are ready to do something. Hopefully it's what I had appear in the random hunt command. It's not what I had appear in the random hunt command. It's alright, they don't know what's going on in this room, even though it says random hunts, not whatever Kyra wants to do. It's alright. As long as he understands that when I am going to post something, that is what we do, not what he wants to do. What quest is it again? It's... I'm trying to remember. Bassario season. Well, no, actually, Bassario seasons. There's several of them. Is it not in this list? Bassario season. Really, is it G2? Must be. Bassario seasons? Anywhere? There it is. Bassario seasons. I don't know why I'm labouring the point. Oh, Kyra has actually sniped, well and truly, I didn't even realise. What the fuck? Ah, you're so cute! I didn't particularly require that sort of reaction. Okay. What am I doing? I'm kicking this Kyra person, who is Epix! What an extraordinary name. What's the vote ticket? What it is that if a person has joined the room, not realizing that they've sniped the spot, I'm happy to actually open the chat and then explain to the person that they've taken someone's spot. But if the person joins the room and then in addition to that, posts their own quest. No, you're getting out of here. I'm not going to take the time to explain the situation to you. Alright. Let's not forget to actually bring coatings. That's a good thought. Why do I have so many close range coatings? Do you know why I have so many close range coatings in my box? It's because almost invariably I will bring both coatings and then not actually need the close range coatings, and then I'll put the excess that remains in my inventory in the box, and it just accumulates over time and is never actually used. So there you go. What is going on in the chat? Anyway, doesn't matter. I shall equip my power coatings and attend the confrontation. Yes, this is the Terra Shogun Cianator bow. It is water element. And piercing ammunition. Well, piercing charge. And there are your charge levels. It has level 4 charging without load up. Just innately. This shit. Bow Black Diablos so best. Yeah, big time. I'm happy to use the Black Diablos bow for the next quest, because you seem to have some sort of unhealthy fixation with the weapon. I'm happy to indulge you. I don't have load up, do I? No, I don't. Didn't think so. I'd actually forgotten that Eraser comes with a 4th charge level. Yeah, I think he really likes that bow because it involves Black D. That must be what it is. He likes a big black phalange. See, I don't know if it's phalange or phalange or what. Whatever it is, he likes it a lot. I'm not sure what Owl is doing. I could just call him Blue, it's awkward to say Owl. It's like I'm expressing pain. Yeah, he seems to be getting involved, it just seemed like he was not being sufficiently aggressive, but at the end of the day, if it seems like it's too dangerous to go in and attack, you may as well stand by and wait for an opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that, I do that a lot myself. I was being unfair. Could you not? It's one thing to kick someone who's, you know, using a Blade Master weapon as a joke, but like when I'm charging up a fucking arrow with my bow, that's quite annoying. Fireball cute balls. Your contributions are actually so unfunny that it feels like it's a waste of time to read it. Not even vocalize it, but to actually read the words and then make sense of them. So it's a huntathon effectively, which is multiple. So it's actually one at a time. We just sit here and wait, and then once the second one spawns and that one dies, we can then deliver a ticket. Just as the huntathons in the later games play out. I don't know why Kushala is walking off looking for the next one, because there is no next one in a separate location. Because they're not spawning in twos, they're spawning individually. Other spawned, really? Why? Are you certain? No, it's here, mate. Is it really two at one time? Or are you trolling me? You're either trolling me, or two of them spawn, which is not what I would expect. Well, I suppose it's not like a huntathon then, because... well, that's strange. What I can tell you is that it's actually more efficient to just stand here and wait for this one. I don't really intend to fight more than this. Just the two that's required to complete the quest is enough for me. I'm not exactly in need of materials. Trying to pierce through the wings, actually missed them though. But yeah, I really was under the impression that the multiple quests just functioned in the same way as a huntathon, but they don't, because huntathons are always one at a time. So that's interesting. Soon you will be a Gravios. Well, actually you won't be because you're going to die, but he's actually acting like a Gravios. Like he's leading up to become one. Maybe in a future incarnation. Oh, there you go. I feel like you don't often see that with Basarios. He tends to prefer to run around rather than shoot Gravios-sized fire beams at you. So I don't think he can actually do a sweeping beam. It looks like he's attempting to, but I don't think he can. Seems that he can do a unidirectional one. So much I can do about that. Can I just say how unhelpful it is to be flung away from the monster and then for the camera to spin in the opposite direction to where the monster is? It's really unhelpful because, you know, I need to be keeping an eye on the monster to make sure that I'm not at risk of being hit a second time, and the camera's like, oh, you need to look at your character falling on the fucking ground. I mean, yes, that may be cinematic and very engaging, but it actually undermines my ability to keep myself safe in the hunt after being hit. Being undermined by the camera wouldn't be the only time that, as a hunter in a first or second generation Monster Hunter game, you actually feel as if the game mechanics are fighting against you rather than, you know, existing as tools for you to succeed. No, it's okay, Water. Warlockino, we've established that you have a penchant, I don't know, for balls and Black D, so I should just say penchant. I always go to make it sound French, because it's a French loan word, you see, but I always end up, you know, not sounding French because I am very much not French, so I should just say penchant. Well, we won, Kushala. Well, I guess, see, I don't know what to call him. Should I call him Kushala, Kushan, or Nagakuka? I really don't know. It's one of those conundrums again where I am having to communicate, well, maybe we won't say communicate with, I have to refer to a person who has upwards of 2 names. Sometimes it can be as many as 4. Depending on whether or not the PPSSPP name is different as well. The many faces of a Hunsterverse player. Bloody hell. Alright, so I will go and deliver the ticket if someone else doesn't do it first. It's not really a race, I don't mind. I just want the quest to end rather than us sit here and hunt literally infinite Basarios. I don't require that. It's not the sort of experience I need to have today. But we did manage to kill 3, courtesy of the fact that we split into 2 groups at the end there. So, Peaberry made a comment on the textures. Yeah, the thing is, it is an older handheld system. So, these textures, I believe, were ported from Monster Hunter Freedom. The area would actually look considerably nicer in Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G. So, when you say 2 Rajang in the arena, do you mean Final Invitation or Twin Terrors? Because there isn't really a special strategy to Twin Terrors. The strategy is fight the Rajang and then kill them. That's the fucking strategy. Whereas Twin Terrors is a little bit... it requires a bit more coordination. Yeah, the one where it's both at the same time, that one is a struggle. You can cheese it if you want. Basically what you do is you go into the area alone with the 2 monsters, you go to the end of the area, pull them both to the end, and then you farcast out, and then they will actually lose their aggro after a period of time, and then you can go in with everyone and pull one of the 2 monsters towards the entrance of the arena, keeping in mind that one of them will remain at the other end and not actually engage you. And then you can effectively fight them one at a time. That's the strategy. You can do that in pretty much all of those arena hunts when you're dealing with multiple monsters at one time, whether it's 1st generation or 2nd generation. I recall doing it for a 1st generation double Black Gravios hunt simultaneously in the arena. Do you know how shit that is? Like, that arena is really small. 2 full-sized Black Gravios at the same time, it's actually a bad joke. So, yeah. I don't really know what they were thinking, coming up with a quest like that, but yeah, I use the same strategy for that. Alright. So, random hunt is what we want. Let's just keep it simple, RH. We've established that I can do that. A king robed in smoke. Well, alright. Standard G-rank Rathalos. I'll use Dragoon's Gay Bulge when I feel inclined to use something raw. I don't feel inclined to use something raw. So, I mentioned that because I did say that I wanted to use that lance, but I'm not going to use it right now. About we go Dragon Greatsword. Sounds like fun. Of course, the very individualistic and, you know, let's just call them individualistic, sarcastically. Freedom Unite Hunters will see me using a greatsword that's elemental and go, how could you? Literally, how could you? Well, let me ask you something. Why is that not your reaction when I use any other elemental weapon? Why is it always a greatsword? I'll tell you why, fucking herd mentality. Is the King Atalard greatsword better? Of course it is. Is that fun? No. So I'm not going to use it. Oh god, what's going on? I guess my connection to the VPN has been compromised? Oh no, it's just being slow. Alright. Kyra rejoined, sir. Yeah, I can fucking see that. I'm going to hold my tongue because I have some very choice words to say about that gentleman. What am I doing? Peak GH20. DC, yeah, he fucking disconnected alright. Unbelievable. Alright, so vote to kick. Let's see if I can do it from outside the hunt. Or outside the room. Okay. Now, I should be able to. I should be able to. It looks like things have been fixed. You used to not be able to do that. Originally you could, then you couldn't, but now you can again, which is good. That's pleasing to see, because when that feature broke, I was very sad. And it didn't seem like there was any real urgency to fix it when things went wrong, so... Tragically, he has disconnected again. Alright. A king robed in smoke. It's just a single Rathalos, nothing very exciting. I'm using a dragon weapon against a Rathalos, that's not what I want. I just realized that I don't have the Kushala Daura greatsword in this, or on this save, so I can't use an ice greatsword. So what do? Fuck me. I'll use Poison King. Poison King will have to do. A king robed in smoke being beaten about the head with Poison King. Sounds like fun. Where is it? Did I go past it? I must have. I didn't. Where is it? Is it really G2? Looks like it must be. There we are. We may be lucky enough to see the first generation special, where Rathalos falls asleep on an island that you cannot even reach on foot. And you have to throw something at him to stop him from sleeping. It's very funny. Jesus. Yeah, 3 people using a hammer. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Now, hopefully we'll be able to find this monster because he's apparently robed in smoke. It will be hard to see him. I guess they mean the smoke from the volcano. Obviously a very visual description of what's going on, but it doesn't actually align with reality in any real way. Yeah, I don't usually record at this time. In the past, I have recorded at this time, but yeah, it's not common anymore. I should do it more. Just going for the head opportunity while it was there. I don't expect to have many opportunities to hit the head during this hunt, given that we have 3 people running hammer. Alright, what are you doing? Oh, good flash bomb. See, I don't think I was able to make contact there. I like how Rathalos is so confused that he's actually physically turning his head in a different direction to where we are. That's funny to me. I'll settle for a level 2. Which was a good decision. Otherwise I would have actually dealt 0 damage there. What are you pinging about? Sort of hoping to clip the face there. Diving through wind pressure. I don't want to be forced to be standing in a spot where I don't want to be. It's hard to really see what's going on. Each time their hammers hit the ground, the camera shakes. It's almost nauseating. I'll settle for the neck. Well, actually, if I stand by the neck and then try to get an attack on the face, that would probably be a good strategy. That was very quick. That was absurdly fast, but not unexpected. He didn't get much of a chance to do a whole lot of anything. He got beaten, and then he died. Yeah, anticlimactic is right. I wanted to have him fall asleep on this island and then for none of us to be able to physically reach him. That kind of thing is really funny. Again, probably resulted in a number of masturbation sessions around that table that I mentioned before on the part of Alpha Team at Capcom. But you see, it had to be a scenario where the hunter didn't actually possess a paintball or a stone. Hello, Wonderlord. Good to see you. Fucking hell. That's brutal. That's the Monster Hunter Portable 2nd G blood effect for you. The killing blow on the face of that Rathalos was so gory that the blood splatter actually covers his face. You can't see his face. There you go. Well, looks like that has already been turned into a screenshot. Yes. RH. A single daimyo hermitor is really boring, so I might amend that to be a different crab hunt. Maybe I won't. Because if people bring... What's daimyo hermitor weak to? Thunder as well. If people bring thunder, and then I actually end up doing plum daimyo hermitor, that would be rather unfair of me, so maybe we'll just do... Oh, apparently... Yep, okay. We're not going to do more crabs, so we will do Azure Rathalos. The decision of the bot has been vetoed by Nagaku Ka on the basis of indignation alone. So, there you go. Before we actually do another hunt, I will get some more water. I'm pleased to say that it has actually cooled down during the course of this recording. I did say at the start of this recording that I might actually melt into a pile of human goo by the end of this. But no, I'm actually feeling more comfortable now than I was in the first 30 minutes. So, considerably more so, but I am thirsty, so I will get some water before I depart. I will not bring the gay bulge. It's so incredibly tempting, but I'm keeping it in the closet for now, and I'll bring it out later. So, we're not doing a crab, we're doing Azure Rathlos, so I will bring dragon. Yeah, that's a good point, Wonderlord. I think any person who has Monster Hunter Generations and has yet to actually transfer their save data from Generations to Generations Ultimate should do so before. Presumably you can't do that anymore. Maybe there will be a way. I'm sure there will be a way to do it. It would probably just require more steps. I will need to actually ensure that I do that on the Wii U. So what I will be doing is transferring my save data from the Wii U to the 3DS for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I will then dump my new 3DS 3 Ultimate save file onto the computer to then use with Citra. That is the plan. That has always been the plan. I just was hoping that it wouldn't be quite so soon. But, yeah. I can't remember what the date was. I think it was February of next year. Something like that. February or March. So, I'll just try to do that before the closure of the servers. I will miss playing on Wii U hardware. But as I understand it, there are fixes in place to possibly make, well, there will be fixes in place to possibly allow for people to play online on the hardware, but I feel like once the official servers are gone, I just don't have a reason to keep it on the Wii U anymore. I think I'll just go to PC and then get the high definition textures on the 3DS version, and hopefully not have that ugly 3DS graphical user interface and heads-up display. I really don't like that at all. It looks like a fucking cartoon. Anyone who thinks that's even acceptable, quite frankly, needs to get their eyes checked. And then if that's still proving to be ineffective, then maybe try gouging them out. And then, I don't know, getting new ones. What am I doing? The quest is Azure Rathlos, so the element will be dragon. I will use a gun lance because I apparently hate myself. No, I will... Yes, I will use gun lance, just because I haven't used the black smoke gun lance anytime recently. Shitra? Yes, Shitra. Incidentally, I would rather play on Shitra and actually be able to play with people than playing on the Wii U emulator and having a barely functioning online system. Nagakuka. Yes, I will be using Shitra. Yeah, I actually don't even know how the game plays on Citra. I'm assuming it's infinitely better than 4 Ultimate anyway. Just single Azure Rathlos, I guess. Presumably in G2. Blue Rathlos. Let's go out and hunt some blue Rathlos. Or Ryureus Ashu, which is probably what it's called in Japanese. I don't know if they use the Ashu naming for the Azure and Pink. They probably do. And then I think they've got a different naming setup for Gold and Silver. But, anyway. My personal favourite? Blue Rathlos. Yeah, I don't actually know why people used motion controls in Monster Hunter Tri. I understand doing it out of some sort of sick curiosity, but to actually play for an extended period of time, you know, wiggling your Wii remote around like some kind of cursed form of human communication for the deaf, I don't really know why people would want to do that. Yeah, I actually would like to hunt Red Rathian, that would be great. Could you imagine how confusing that would be? That's Monster Hunter 6, everyone. Sort of, yeah, well, I don't even need to elaborate on what I mean. It's, you know, the monsters can be whatever they want to be. It's fucking 2024 or 2025, whenever it comes out, I don't know. Oh. He was doing around the world through the wall. I thought he was leaving, he was doing around the world while passing through walls. Okay. How silly of me to assume that he was flying away. That's King Shakalaka. Best to give him a wide berth. There's not much that you can do about his birth, it's already happened, but you can, as regrettable as that is, but you can give him a wide berth all the same. So it seems that they were actually engaging King Shakalaka. I was under the impression that they were, in fact, fighting Azure Rathalos. That was not the case. He has actually gone down over here. If he has been properly engaged in combat, then I will go down, but I hate pursuing him down here, because sometimes you will come all the way down to the bottom and then he'll just leave the area. It's miserable. Feels like the ultimate time-wasting exercise. This is a big Azure Rathalos, by the way. Can I just say that you must be a very confused young man if you go from placing a trap to then flash bombing the monster, because I can assure you that those two things are actually conflicting strategies. You can't get the monster in the trap by flash bombing him, okay? That's not quite how that works. Maybe with some monsters, maybe if you really wanted a Rajang to get in your trap, you throw a flash bomb so that he moves around more. Maybe that would actually be somewhat effective, but as I say, two conflicting strategies going on here, mate. It's one or the other. He's done a very good job of not actually committing to the trap that he placed, and in fact taking a fireball to the face and proving to be largely ineffectual. So, that's alright. Speaking, well, I'll tell you what's not alright. The attack cycle that this monster is stuck in right now. The fact that you just flashed him in that position, words almost fail. And again, you know, we're literally standing here behind the trap, and this guy's like, alright guys, we're standing behind the trap now, I'm going to flash bomb him while he's some distance away from the trap. I'm helping. I'm going to start bleeding from the nose from some sort of ruptured vessel in my brain if I continue hunting with these people. And he's leaving the area. It's your wasted trap, not mine. But don't worry, we flashed him twice. That's what's important. Admittedly, one of the flashes was thrown by a person who didn't place the trap, but that is not to ignore the fact that the person who threw the flash was standing behind the trap for what I would approximate to be a period of 10 seconds. Yeah, it was a bit of a dance, actually, that backwards fireball business. I'm trying to remember if I did actually get my Wyvern Fire off successfully, because I just saw the telltale sign of a fired Wyvern Fire on my gun lance. The eye of the Fatalis on my bowgun becomes, I don't know, a bit strange looking. It looks reminiscent of the Eye of Sauron, if someone sat on it. Here you go. Shut up. Off he goes, taking out Blue, as I'm calling him. Blue on Blue, actually. Blue Rathalos attacks guy named Blue in Japanese. That's just adorable, actually. I'm gonna compose a nursery rhyme on that very subject. It's really tickled me. I'm able to Wyvern Fire again. Once he's done doing this dance of his, I'll go for it. Look, what is possessing you to do this repeatedly? Can you see that... I mean, what a perfect fake. Quite frankly, I mean, he lands on the ground every time he does it, and then the one time he doesn't do it is the moment I'm actually going for a Wyvern Fire for when he lands. What a prick. It was probably all part of his plan, wasn't it? I'd expect so. I did see your charge attack there. That really put me off. I won't blame him for the upswing there. The head is his territory and I am encroaching upon it. That was a good flinch. Yeah, I had a feeling I'd get hit by splash damage there. Suppose you could call it explosive damage. It is a fiery explosion that I'm being hit by. Splash damage sounds a little bit clinical and soulless. Yes, for Lance, the counter with the Lance charge was implemented in Monster Hunter Tri. That is a 3rd gen addition to the Lance. The Lance is essentially unchanged between generations 1 and 2. A very basic weapon type. You either commit to guarding and not doing damage, or you play aggressively. I generally advise not to actually make use of the guarding functionality of the Lance all that much, and instead just use evasion. But unfortunately in 1st generation that's not even an option, because there are no evasion skills in 1st generation, so you pretty much just take advantage of Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G Lance headlocking. Basically the Lance was so strong in those first 2 games that if you were hitting the monster's head with a Lance, it wasn't going anywhere. It would stay in one place. So, yeah. The lack of guard functionality wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it works, obviously. Like, when you raise your shield, yes, you are guarding, but it's just hard to be doing that and then simultaneously unsheathing and hitting the monster. They are very distinctly different modes to be in when you're using the weapon. Yeah, this Gunlance has a very cool looking shield. Modelled after the head of a Fatalis, but not an actual imitation of one. I'll show you the eye of the Gunlance. And squished Eye of Sauron. Okay, if anyone wanted to know what Naga Kukar looks like, that's him right there, apparently. Just took a little webcam screenshot there, that's really, really nice. I don't know why, I guess I have 1st generation Monster Hunter in my head. I thought I got an Azure Rathalos Ruby. Now, in 1st generation, And this sort of speaks to how much time it takes to do anything in first generation. Each subspecies of Rathalos and Rathian has their own rare drop. So it is actually a blue gem for Azure Rathalos. Of course, after first generation, that is to say beginning with second generation, unless it was different in DOS, but I don't believe it was just a generic rare drop for all the subspecies. Which, if we're going to speak to Rathalos specifically, Standard, Azure, and Silver would all give a Rathalos Ruby. So yeah, I got excited thinking that I got an Azure Rathalos Ruby, but I certainly did not. Alrighty. So I'll probably do one more hunt. I just mistakenly opened Vegas Pro 12. I'm going to close that now. What? Vegas Pro 12? That's ancient software, Doomlink. Yeah, I know. It's probably the worst example of using something that works and then never using anything different. Although it doesn't work very well anymore. Anyway, that was a strange tangential topic of discussion. Let me figure out what our next quest is going to be. I think this will be our last... Yes, this will be our last one. RH. Tiger of the Desert. This is actually a DLC quest, so... There you go. I believe we did this... not that long ago. Oh, we've got another sniper. Here we go. Someone named W. I will alert them to the fact that they are sniping as we speak. And, that way we can deal with it. This guy left before I could even tell him. Was there something that he found to be disagreeable about this room? Is that why he left immediately? Because, you know, if he figured out that quickly that he was sniping... It begs the question as to why he joined in the first place. Anyway, I guess I'll just go and get ready for the quest now, after that rather curious moment. No, we do not have a slot, sorry. This is a full room. Shit! Shut up. Stop spamming me. Alright. That's my friend probably asking when we're watching anime. In 10 minutes, or thereabouts. I will get the chat off my screen before we depart. Oh yeah, I did say that I was going to get some water and then I never did do that, did I? Oh well. I'll just die of thirst. It's fine. It'll be entertaining. I'll get a few new followers on Twitch. This guy's cool. Or, I don't know, that just made me think of, Butthead. This guy's cool. You see, I can, if I do an actual Butthead laugh, it's gonna gross me out, so I'm not gonna do, like, a proper... It's more like... You know, it's got, like, a sort of breathy... So it's, like, a bit of that sound, plus... Anyway. What am I doing? I am going to use this. This looks like fun. Good way to go out. I'm going to use an evasion ice longsword loadout. This is going to be a treat. Doomlink using ice. He never did in the end whip out his gay bulge, so all of those waiting with bated breath will now have to just remain permanently blue-balled. Well, not permanently, you can obviously relieve your blue ball. There's been a bit of a blue theme going on today, I don't know what that's about. But anyway, so we have apparently got a Tigrex hunt in here somewhere. Tiger of the Desert. There you go. Okay, apparently this armor set looks like I enjoy Black D. Okay, well, not sure where... I mean, quite frankly, you name yourself Kushala in Discord, so if this set looks like I like Black D, what does that say about you? I think you've got some sort of infatuation with the black phallus of whatever monster you want to have that sort of romantic interaction with, so... Anyway. Oh, the Naga chest. Yes, I suppose that is a little bit, yeah. No, I get it. I still like the idea that I had, which is that, you were actually suggesting that you like Black D because, you know, it's actually got armor pieces that share your name, so, yeah. Well, Wonderlord, at least he's honest, hey? At least he's honest. Alright, so... What is this longsword? That's this longsword. It's not particularly good, to be fair, but it is fun to use. It's an event weapon. And I pretty much exclusively use it with this loadout. Just because this is one of the few loadouts that I have that doesn't have sharpness +1 that's intended to be used with Blade Master weapons. This is one of those weapons that has maxed out sharpness, so it's just a total waste to use sharpness +1. So, yeah. I use it here, that was not cool. Alright. I'll have to... Whoa, there's a really big cockroach here. This is frustrating. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. It's not good for live streaming, but what I have to do is go and kill this cockroach. I'll be back in a moment. The epic battle. Doomlink versus Cockroach, and then Shakalaka versus Lord Zor. Fucking hell. But yeah. Speaking of blue balling, you're about to have me engage the Tigrex, and then I just had to say, look guys, I've got something to deal with. It was a big one, so I wasn't going to let it fucking walk around. And then, worse still, like, I don't know, crawl on my feet or something. I'm not that intrigued by the idea of having that happen, so I decided that I'd go and kill it. You get away from me. I ended up pretty much going the long way because I didn't realize that Tigrex had progressed into this area. Alright, there's the fan. Very attractive looking weapon. I'm not going to say it's not an effective weapon, it's not really how I like to go about it. It's got high element but relatively low raw. I did press the evade button, I can assure you. Just a bit late with it, that's all. Yeah, I suck at evasion. You know how long it's been since I was doing evasion regularly? Well, the newest game at the time was Monster Hunter Tri, so yeah, I just need to get back into it. There you go. Almost got my charge. There we go. It makes a percussive sound when you actually do the... whatever it's called. The spirit combos with this longsword. I don't know what kind of percussive sound it is, some sort of traditional Japanese instrument. I believe it features in songs such as the Mizutsune theme. I just don't know what kind of drum it is. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now, if I'm being upswung while standing next to the wing, I'm not going to be very forgiving of that. You... Yeah, okay. We are going to try that again, because, you know, my death didn't count because I wasn't even here, and I didn't even realize that we were down to one last person. So... Yeah, that guy did a good job of upswinging me while I was standing next to the wing, but not such a good job of actually staying alive. So, yeah, the BGs would be rather disappointed. Now, we will try that again. Hopefully, that guy's going to come back and he hasn't just left in a huff. We will have to find out. What's going on in the Discord chat? Is someone screaming about Blangonga in an incomprehensible fashion? Blagangonga! Screams young Garuga Smasher. What's his avatar? I can't even see what that is. What is it? Oh look, there's a Stolfo. It's like... It's a guy putting a blue tarpaulin over some cactuses? That's what it looks like. Scroll up, yeah right, yeah right. I'll get demonetized if I scroll up. But yeah, I like this guy's blue cactus plants. Very nice. But, yeah. That's a rather strange avatar to have. But, at any rate. Almost as strange as Blangangonga being a monster name. Alright, let's get back to the game. I've gone past it. Tigrex. What the fuck have you posted in my server, P-Berry? Why? I don't even know what that is. It just looks like something I don't need to see. Whatever it is. I'll find out after the quest. Well, after the live stream. Which are the same thing, because this will be the last quest. It looks like our hammer friend, Riario, is back. He did not leave in a fit of rage. Or in a fit of shame. Or some sort of caustic combination of both. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's a little bit unsure of what he wants to do. How do you access Doomlink server? Yeah, I wonder. It is invite only. I'm not really falling over myself to send you an invite, but I will extend this opportunity to those of you watching live now. If you would like to join the server, do let me know, and I will put an invite link in the chat. It's not that I am preventing people from joining, it's that I would prefer people to be there that really wanted to be there. It's, you know, it's where you would go if you either wanted to chat to me, or if you wanted to have notifications for the live streams. If I keep it, like, literally just a publicly joinable Discord server, there's going to be every likelihood that the community in there is not going to be quite as pleasant, so I would rather keep it, not so much curated, but at least keep the traffic down, because, like anything, the more people who are involved, the worse it's going to be, so yeah. If anyone other than Nagakuka wants to join, do make yourself known in the chat, and I'll send a link. That's not to say that I'm going to prevent Nagakuka from joining if a link is sent, but I don't know if I would... I don't know if I'd put one in just for him, at least not right now. Give me... what's going on? Did I post the right quest? Oh shit, I posted Magazine Tigrex by mistake. I didn't actually look at the quest name, I just looked for Tigrex and posted it. Well, I hope you've all brought your A game. And a spare pair of underwear, because this is bad news. So this is a giant one-shotting Tigrex, just for those who are unaware. I don't really want to put my evasion skills to the test. Do you know what? I don't really want to put your upswing skills to the test during a quest like this either. To be candid. What is it with these people and placing down a trap and then refusing to actually use it? Is it like a joke that I've not been included in? I do feel like I'm not totally clued in with what this team thinks it's doing at any given time. A little difficult to understand. This is one of those rare occasions where I don't mind traps and flash bombs being used. Almost was able to roll in time. Yeah, wouldn't mind cutting the tail just to reduce his range a little bit. And he's in the trap. I will do my combo here so that it is not going to affect anyone else's ability to do their attacks. This guy is upswinging while the monster is in a stationary position. Yeah, this is really not the quest for me to be warming up when it comes to evasion anything. Shouldn't have done a fade there. Fortunately, I wasn't actually punished for it, but... So, I heard the terms lingering hitbox in the chat from Nagakuka before. Let that be the perfect example of lingering hitbox. I did roll through the attack, but then I got... It's like a fucking train rolling through, and you're dodging the train wheels on the train track, and then eventually one of them's gonna hit you. I don't know what kind of analogy that is. Quite a morbid one, actually. Okay, well... I was too busy being distracted by someone who pinged me in Discord. It was the guy that I inspected the avatar of before, Mr. Cactus Tarpaulin Man. I think that's actually going to conclude this live stream. I have had a lot of fun with Tigrex, so much fun that I feel overstimulated and I need to end the live stream. But I do thank you all for watching. I will shoot Nagakuka a link over Discord. I don't need to leave him hanging. But yes, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time I'm playing Monster Hunter, whatever I happen to upload. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.